I think the benefits are overall in the treatment, and it's a piece of the treatment is kind of moving a bad day in Flagstaff in June or July, where a forest fire could really impact communities, destroy homes, stuff like that, or even destroy some of the natural resources that are so important to the economy of Flagstaff and the scenic beauty of Flagstaff. This is just one piece of that process. Well, we've been doing a number of hazardous fuels mitigation projects southwest of Flagstaff with the overall goal of protecting the community of Flagstaff from wildland fire. But we also have a lot of ancillary benefits of increasing wildlife habitat, increasing forest health and resiliency, and just kind of cleaning up the forest and doing our job to manage some of the state trust sections in the Flagstaff area. Well, it all starts off with a plan from a forester. So they'll go out there and look at the area and come up with a prescription that kind of aligns with some of those overarching goals that I talked about, decreasing the potential for a catastrophic hazardous wildfire. And then they also think about wildlife habitat, forest health, insects and disease, and some of those other things. They write out that project, come up with a plan, then we go to one of our contractors. A big part of that process is securing the funding to do it, because these projects are expensive. Once we have that process secured and the funding for that process secured, we hire a contractor to do that first part of the removal of the majority of the trees. We had done a timber sale that was designed to protect the community southwest of Flagstaff, and that operation had left a lot of residual material from it, treetops, tree limbs, stuff that couldn't be hauled off site. And with no market for that biomass material, our only solution really is to burn that material. It was all ponderosa pine, and the stuff in the piles was all small diameter, unmarketable stuff in the current environment. There are possibilities of making that stuff economically viable to take to a market. Biomass can be used for a number of different things, and there are markets for it, but just not here locally. Our preference would be to be able to utilize as much of that material as we can and not burn it. Sometimes there are opportunities to send chips to markets to utilize small diameter material. That creates jobs throughout rural Arizona. Unfortunately, there are not a whole lot of options for that here in what we call the west side or northern Arizona. Without those type of markets, we're kind of forced to get rid of that material in the most cost-effective way that we can. And so we burn the piles of the tops of the trees and the branches of the trees, the stuff that we couldn't get to market. So this is kind of stage 2 or 3 of our normal kind of operations, where we're going to go in and do a treatment. We're going to get rid of the rest of that material through a pile burn, and then we'll eventually go back in and do a broadcast burn to fully clean it up.